This is a Headgum podcast.
All right, Nick, take your choice here.
Okay.
I'll get either of those. Okay. Sorry, it caught me a little unawares, but we're good to go now. Let me put this on silent. Nicole, could I get a water?
Yeah.
Thank you. I have to pick out. Okay, let's see. Let's bring that up here. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm all right. I'd say day to day is
Touch and go.
No, day to day is good overall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you in New York?
No, I mean right now, yeah.
Right. But for when people
I wish I lived here.
Watch on YouTube, then they'll know it's not a Will.I.am situation. Thank you.
Last night, maybe I was dreaming of living in New York. It was so fun. I did 9 sets last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus. My record's 5.
Really?
Yeah, my personal record is 5.
It was all within the neighborhood. So
yeah.
Easy.
No, that's one of the cute. Yeah, as long as you're not going uptown, but yeah, if you can stay 23rd and below, then yeah. This was a while ago before there were a lot of other
comedians.
Downtown stuff.
Uh-huh.
Before, there was I think the population was under 1 million when I was started doing stand-up in New York, yeah. And most of that was Staten Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they made it over.
And how
did they get over from that island?
The paddle, they were the first ones with I don't know what you call it, where you stand on the
surfboard?
Yeah, and then paddle. Mm-hmm. So, yes, that's how that originated in Staten Island. You get it, go donate it to charity once you got to Manhattan or Brooklyn.
Surfboard?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then you'd have to work until you got money for another one to go back, vice versa. Or, same again, donate it to charity, work until you got another paddle.
So it's pretty much all nonprofit.
No, it was for profit. This was a really, really, really early Bill Gates thing. Really early.
Like before Windows 95.
Oh, way before. Yeah, this would have been like 1895 when that was a different thing. They had Windows 95, but it was not.
Well, in 1895, it was about birds because, the amount of birds that were
crashing into Windows.
Suicide.
Yeah. Suicide.
You think that's on accident, those birds?
Oh, I never even thought of that. So you think they're just despondent and
they had
choosing.
Enough.
Oh, wow. That didn't occur to me. So when a plane goes down because a bird gets caught in
that's a
murder
plane doing suicide.
That's the plane doing a suicide. It's not murder suicide on the bird's.
The plane sees the bird.
Right. Diverts into the.
Yeah, it goes right into it.
Oh man, there's so much depression and anxiety these days, and it's just going to make it worse with planes deciding to commit suicide.
Yeah. I would too with this atmosphere.
Yeah. With the stratosphere or the theosphere? Which atmosphere? Or
I would go both.
Both.
Yeah.
Because we're stratosphere, right? No, we're troposphere, and then stratosphere is above us.
And that's where planes go?
Some planes, yeah. If they're good.
If they're the good planes.
We get to go to the stratosphere.
Bad planes stay down.
Stay down the troposphere, yeah. Mm-hmm. It is hot in here. Am I correct, Nicole?
Yeah, I got you.
I know it's relative, but how are you feeling comfort-wise?
I could always be colder.
Yeah, me too. Oh, hence New York. Where are you from?
Seattle.
Oh, right. I knew that.
Can I jump in real quick and just fix this? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, what's
Is it this?
No.
I think they were having an issue with that last week, that mic.
I might give you a different one.
They're going to need to solder that.
That
thing.
might be the one Mark Norman farted into.
Oh.
So that is why it hasn't been working that great since then.
Wonder how many mics he's ruined or broken.
Oh, I mean, it's got to be upwards of, 100.
I hope somebody's put together a highlight clip of him farting on mics.
That would be good. He didn't fart on the mic. He just farted on mic.
I have a memory of you farting in Seattle.
Sure. I mean, that's my farting place.
At Bumper Shoot, remember?
No.
That festival there?
Yeah, of course. But we
were on like a balcony above Pike Place Market somehow.
Sarah Bennett's apartment.
Yeah.
Right on the greatest apartment ever.
It was
literally
unreal.
Above the market, part of the market, because they have like 50 apartments scattered throughout the whole thing. And then access to the roof, which was the entirety of the market, Pike's Place Market, and looking out over the Sound is beautiful.
And it was, and then growing up there, I was like, how did this,
It's a very coveted apartment.
And we were up there, and it was I think Zach was there. It was a very, to me, a very sophisticated. Zach Bryan.
Yeah.
Very sophisticated, inner comedy, alt, and there was even musicians there. And in the middle of kind of a very serious conversation, you go, actually, and then farted.
Yeah.
And I remember telling my family and, everybody I knew really about that for maybe a month or two.
Was it a good Thanksgiving story?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
And I peaked then, and it's gone downhill ever since.
Yeah.
You know why?
No.
I stopped farting.
How did you stop?
I went to this dietitian, and I went to this dietitian. Very long story short, we fell in love.
Stretch it out.
And he gave me a butt plug, and now I just burp.
See, I am I've never burped in my life.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe like once before puking. Like,
is that for real?
Yeah.
How? Why? How is that possible?
I don't know. I don't know how to do it.
What if you just chugged a Coke?
I would be very uncomfortable, and then eventually it would probably find its way out the other side.
So you have something wrong with you, because burping is just a function, I think, of getting the bloat out, getting the gas out.
But you can get the gas out in other ways. And I think I have a problem letting go. I think that there's something, because when I do puke,
have you seen Frozen?
Is hard to. No.
You should see Frozen. That has a life lesson about letting go in it. Okay. Yeah.
I would love to see that movie.
Yeah.
Wait, I've seen Frozen. Oh, Let It Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a Josh Gad.
It's about burping and farting and gas and internal combustion.
Mm-hmm. That's the Josh Gad vehicle.
It is a Josh Gad vehicle, yeah, and a tent pole, as it were, for the Josh Gad Industries. Yeah. And you have one kid? No, one
kid,
and who's got to be older now. How old?
Yes, 11.
11. Mm-hmm. But was there a Frozen phase?
There was a big Cars phase. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think I love Cars 2. I mean, Cars 1's great, but Cars 2 really has the kind of European element to it.
I haven't seen either, but I think because of timing, but I'm a huge Pixar fan. So
yeah, well, wait, how old is your kid?
8, just turned 8.
Do they watch movies?
Her pronouns are she and her.
Okay. See how I navigated that?
Yeah, it was great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she watches movies. Mm-hmm. Sallow, Showa, gosh, what else? The Painted Bird,
subtitle stuff,
Human Centipede. I mean, tons of stuff. Mm-hmm. She's big into the Human Centipede musical.
Yeah, is that on Broadway or is that off?
It was off on Broadway, which is on Broadway but never runs. Is the kind of technical definition.
I just showed my son a movie that I think you're familiar with.
Yeah, I know what it is.
What?
Oh, Hunt for Red October?
7.
Okay. What'd you show your son?
Chipmunks,
of course. That's what I was referring to.
Loved it.
Kids love it, man. It's a $1 billion franchise.
But as an adult, watching movies with kids, it was fun.
I had that. It sounds like it's bullshit, but I did have that in mind, like knowing, all right, adults are going to have to sit and watch this thing over and over and over again. So I, spiced it up a little bit with what I could for the moms and dads and grandparents and uncles and nieces and aunts and
It's always a pleasure when you're like, okay, let's watch a movie. Oh my God, let's please watch this one.
And but he took to it.
Oh yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah, he takes to all anything I show him really.
Because there's some movies my daughter just doesn't. I started showing her Hundreds of Beavers, which I thought she would love. Have you seen it?
I've only seen the preview, and I was going to try it. I'm planning on watching that.
It's great. I really enjoyed it, and I thought, I mean, that was just like she's going to love this, and not that she didn't like it, but she got 10 minutes in and was just because she watches these absurdist, crazy, very funny and clever cartoons like
Bluey or something.
She loves Bluey, but I'm not. Bluey's great. It's fucking awesome. But I'm not talking about that so much as like Karate Sheep. Have you seen that? Which I think is out of Quebec. There's a bunch of Korean stuff. Mr. Bread. There's Brown. What is it called? There's these very short little things. Anywhere from like 5 to 8 minutes an episode, and they're really funny and absurd and crazy. And so I thought she would like Hundreds of Beavers, but she didn't.
She didn't like an art house film.
I guess that was part of it. She found it
derivative,
cloying, pretentious, derivative. She said, and I quote, this is not auteur. Clearly, these filmmakers have their heads up their own asses, and I'd like my money back. And I explained, well, you didn't pay any money. We're watching on TV. And she said, well, how do we get access to this? Surely somebody's getting paid. Everybody's got their hand out. This is America, God damn it. And I kind of explained cable. I was like, yes, but I'm providing for the family. And so I've got the cable system. And she went into this whole fucking thing about Keynesian economics and all this shit.
I mean, she should just take it to the comment section. I mean, that's what I tell my son. It's like, sound off.
Yeah.
Go in, find whatever, a trailer, find anything where you can actually put your opinion on the bottom of this.
Yeah.
I took him to a museum and he was wondering where the comment section was.
Did you take him to the comment section? Which museum?
No, the
Holocaust Museum. I have a lot of negative comments about the Holocaust Museum. Yeah. It is a fucking bummer.
Yeah.
It is. What is the point?
Can you write these down? That's the thing, is you want to be able to write be able to put it under whatever you're looking at there, kind of like on YouTube where you can like scroll down.
That's what I do. I write it on the wall and then with a Sharpie.
This sucks.
And then my comment handle is Dr. Poopy Pants. And then I put that down. And I do it in a silver Sharpie. So
mine's InSync Kati 503.
What is it?
InSync Kati.
InSync Kati 503.
Yeah.
Is that like an area code?
Yeah.
Is it a Seattle area code?
That's Portland.
Portland. Right. So you kind of just throws people off the track a little bit, but it also pays homage to your roots.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. The Northwest.
Pacific Northwest.
Sorry.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting how in Canada they would call that the Southwest?
That area. I never even thought of that.
Yeah. Southwest.
Yeah, because if you're in
Yellowknife, right? Yukon territories.
Yeah, and if you're in like Anaheim, LA is Northern California.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
No.
It's still Southern California.
Okay.
Yeah.
But north of Anaheim.
Southern California is also Southern California to Canada.
Yeah.
But they would just refer to Seattle or Vancouver Island or Vancouver, Washington as Southwest.
And in Mexico, they say, do you know Spanish?
I know a ton. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Wait, what is a ton in Spanish? Tona.
Uh-huh. I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to roll the N.
Yeah. So it's I can have a conversation with somebody in Spanish. I wouldn't say fluent, but enough so that we could communicate. If I go want to get, say, a taco or a burrito, or a chalupe, or a taquito, or a chimichanga, or a fajita. Fajitas are an American invention, just so we all are clear.
But they took the Spanish word fajita,
which means
sizzle.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why Sizzler, the steak company, went out of business because they were sued by fajitas.
Yeah. There are some fajitas locations still down in Mexico.
Fajitaritas?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I like how you say Mexico. Yeah.
Thank you.
What's your favorite part of Mexico?
I mean, I would honestly say the middle of it, because that's where you feel, kind of entrenched in the whole Mexican thing. I've been in Mexico City, love it. I've been north of that, scary. Mm-hmm. I've been south of that, I feel lost. But Mexico City, which I think is kind of middle, feels like Spain in a lot of ways, which, me being European in descent is nice.
Where's your family from?
Seattle. And then before that, Norway.
There you go. That was the answer I was looking for. Mm-hmm. Just following the
I had to go back. I have to
part of the conversation.
Yeah. I know, but I had to go back from the beginning into the. I also, don't you ever feel weird, like saying, "Oh, I'm Norwegian"? Oh, really?
Well, I would feel very weird saying I'm Norwegian because I'm clearly not.
No,
there's nothing Norwegian about me.
What are you?
Finnish. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. That's not far.
No, not at all. But it's quite a different. It's like like Finland is different to Norway as, Georgia is to Mississippi.
Would they say that is Finland Scandinavian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Why not?
That's nice.
Let's do it. Yeah. I'm actually going to be in Norway. I'll be in Oslo in about a week.
Oh, wow.
Believe it or not. A week and 2 days. From this conversation right now. I don't know. By the time this goes out, I will have already come and gone. I hope I had a good time.
I bet you did.
I like Oslo.
Yeah.
Have you been to Oslo?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Oslo. And have you been Bergen or whatever?
I've not. Oslo is the only part of Norway I've been to.
Are you going to perform there?
Yes. Yeah. Out on the street. I do a little busking.
Mm-hmm.
I do a kind of what if scenario. What if the Spin Doctors were cast in Hamlet and it's just the Spin Doctors doing Hamlet?
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see how it works on the streets. Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool. I mean, and they I'd say most, meaning more than half of the people, especially in Oslo, have a pretty good English, pretty good grasp of English. So yeah, it's fun. It relates. And then you get tourists who come in and kind of gather and what's going on? Then they'll, throw in some euros and there you go.
They do euros up there?
Yeah. What did you think they did?
I thought they did I thought they did something.
The kroner.
Yeah.
It's not a kroner. That's Sweden. Theirs is the krone, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, it's something, but I thought that they never kind of submitted to the EU kind of.
You know what? I don't know. I've been speaking out of school.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they did.
They made
up.
I think it's krones. Mm-hmm. The krone, if I remember correctly.
The rate is, I mean, it's
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm paying for everybody's motherfucking health insurance there. Every time I step foot. I got to get a herring. I go to get a herring, right?
Yeah.
Raw. Right? You go get a herring, and then it's like, how much is this? And I'm paying for some motherfucker's health care. Mm-hmm. What the fuck?
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Treat me like that. I'm coming to your country, and now I got to take care of your sick kid.
Have you seen their hospitals?
Ugh. No.
Me neither.
Yeah. I wouldn't. Oh, you know what? Actually, even though we were just having a little bit of fun there, we're speaking with Nick Thune, by the way. Nick Thune. I did have to go to the doctors when I was in Oslo, and I've had a couple of experiences with healthcare abroad, and this is one of them where I had what turned out to be Lyme. I have Lyme's disease.
I had that.
Yeah. Well, you don't really ever get rid of it,
Yeah, but
unfortunately.
I found it pretty quick, so I think that.
So did I. I got
good.
I got lucky. I actually found it in Sweden, and by the time I got to Oslo on this other tour, I was like, okay, I got to take care of this because this is not good. And everybody has their own different reactions to it, but fuck, it's a bummer, man. It's you tell me yours in a second, but my everything ached like I had been in a boxing match. Like every fucking muscle was hard to walk. Everything ached, and I got extremely irritable in a way that had nothing to do with the achiness. It was like this exhausted, really exhausted. I couldn't walk. Just walking a block was so painful. And I didn't know what was going on at first. I had no idea. And I got irritable first, and I was with my wife, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because I got way blown out of proportion, angry about her not wanting to bring the suitcase up to the room or something where could I take, like, just completely inappropriately, like, what the fuck? Why can't you, like, just not acceptable, not like me to get all that upset about that. And then, like, later on, saw the bullseye, and I had been upstate prior to that. I'd been upstate in the woods.
Oh, yeah.
And
where was the bullseye?
Like thigh, not thigh. What is this? Calf or thigh or calf. One of those.
I had mine.
Yeah,
right there.
And what
mine
were your
saved
symptoms?
my life. Similar to yours, I remember like going down to get in my car and sitting down, and I couldn't sit. All of a sudden, my tailbone hurt so bad.
So weird, man.
And then I had to go lay down, and then an hour, 2 hours later, I'd get up and sit down. It's fine. Now my elbow hurts. It was just kind of like this kind of, but I got it. My tick was up in my hairline and found it in Montreal, but I got it, I think, in Bloomington, Indiana. I went to go jump off that. You know the movie Breaking Away? You remember that?
Yeah. Great. I love that movie.
I do too. Yeah. I found that quarry and like jumped off that rock into it.
Oh, nice.
Which it's now gone. They like blew it up. They got rid of it or something, I guess, because it was dangerous. But
before you jumped?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So how did you?
I was part of the wrecking crew. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So
Cannonball.
Yeah.
And but I remember I was like going through trees. They were slapping me in the head. It was just whatever. But it saved my life, really, because it got me sober. Because I was so deep into alcoholism that I couldn't. They were giving me, antibiotics, and they weren't working because I was drinking a bottle and a half of vodka a day, probably. And then on top of that, they got back my blood test, and the doctor was like, "Hey." I think you forgot to mention something. There's a bit of an enzyme problem in your liver right now, which was like that. I went to rehab that day. Wow. Yeah.
So I'm sorry. The chronology is you got Lyme disease. You went to get that checked out and antibiotics and whatever that stuff is for that. While you're doing that, they're like, "Hey, you've got a severe drinking problem."
Yeah. Which I knew. I mean, I figured since I was drinking in my car on the way to the doctor's appointment.
Nick, I had no idea. When was
10
this?
10 in the morning.
When was this?
6 years ago. I mean, I was sober 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was like a 10-year. I was sober when I was young, and then I started drinking again. I thought I didn't really enjoy my 30s. And then gave it a good 10-year push.
So in 10 years, you built up enough resistance that you could drink a bottle and a half of vodka a day. That seems like an accelerated descent into alcoholism.
Yeah, but when you're like, you're touring and you're like going
Dude,
out.
you don't have to tell me. I know, but
It's like I was alone so much.
Yeah.
And I wasn't just drinking like afternoon. I was drinking at 2 a.m. when I woke up to pee. I would take like an equivalent to like 5 shots.
So then, wow, Jesus. So you recognize that that's an issue, that's a problem, that's not normal.
Oh, the first time I looked myself in the mirror, like after I started drinking again, I was like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot, but enjoy it.
Did you have that kind of personality where it's like you just dive in? I mean, to go from starting to drink to I'm going to have 5 shots at 2 a.m. when I get to pee before you go back to bed.
Yeah, it's deep in me. It's just numbing and wanting to,
And where's not physically, but where's your family in all of this while this is happening?
Scared and watching.
Yeah. Well, surely your wife?
Ex-wife.
Mm-hmm. Understandable. Your ex-wife must have said something to you.
Oh, yeah. And everybody would. I mean, and there was big moments of like just really doing dumb shit, locking myself out of hotel rooms naked in some city and at a family member's wedding, like just...
Oh boy.
Peeing in elevators, the kind of stuff that I think cool people do sometimes.
It's rock and roll, man.
Yeah. I used to have to.
Sammy Hagar would have done it.
You know what Sammy Hagar used to do too? Like what I used to do is have to put my bag in my hotel rooms like up on the top shelf so I wouldn't pee on it. Because for some reason I loved pissing on my bag in the middle of the night when I would wake up looking for the bathroom.
As like you mean consciously aware that you're peeing on your bag?
No, totally unaware. But
right.
The unconscious me, the blackout me.
Right. It was like, I'm going to get back at me for doing this to me.
Yeah. I'm going to make
Take
going
this,
home very weird.
Dumbass. Wow.
So I started just putting everything up high in the room because I'm like, I just don't want to pee on this stuff. I know it's going to happen.
And how are your shows when you're this?
They were just getting progressively harder and worse. And I mean,
were you sloppy? Were you?
Yeah. I mean, I was getting through it and doing, I was doing okay.
And you're doing an hour at this point, right?
Oh yeah. I was on the road, like full on. Yeah. And if I ever see a clip or a picture from when it got really, really bad, it's tough. It's like, oh God, that slow talking kind of like, and I know that somewhere in me, I think I'm being like very thoughtful on stage when really I'm just trying to keep it together.
Yeah.
Because you never really feel great. You're always in the midst of either coming down or too much. There's never like a, hey, this is good. Unless you do Coke, then it's all good.
Right. That's what Coke, that's
their
really
motto.
The only reason Coke should exist is to even you out.
From alcohol, from a downer. That's why they want.
Yeah. And so after you got sober, did you try to reach back with your ex-wife? Did you try to say, I'm better? Was that a thing that you wanted to do?
No, I mean, that happened. We got divorced after I got sober.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, you must be a real piece of work.
No, I mean, it was coming. It was just like, it was a thing that was happening. And it was already it was already in the works.
Was the beginning of sobriety difficult?
No, because I wanted it so bad because I did want to live and it wasn't like I just got sober and it was fine. Like 2 days into rehab, I was taken to the hospital because of delirium tremors and like seizuring and I was
right. You did. Sorry, for a second I was thinking you kind of on your own just went, I'm going to do this. And then, but you checked yourself in rehab, which ensures that you're
medically going to take me down. Yeah.
You're not going to have any access to that.
But benzos and alcohol and all that stuff is just like, you can't just stop taking that if you're doing it at that level. But I just want, and your dad, my dad, I'm like, my son's 5 and people were telling me like, my dad was an alcoholic, but he quit before I was 5 and I never remember him drinking. So I thought, well, this is a good opportunity for that.
Yeah. And were there any, not red flags, but any behavior that you did with your son, around your son that was dangerous?
No, luckily, I mean, Of course, I mean, just being drunk around anybody is dangerous.
I guess I was thinking more in terms of like a Michael Jackson hanging the baby over the balcony moment.
Yes, yeah. That as a joke, obviously, was fun. But no, it was definitely like a thing that I was just on my own doing. I was living my own life, kind of apart from everybody else.
Right. Well, I mean, that's one of the multiple negative aspects of being on the road, and that feeling of those hotels can be so depressing. And have you ever gone to the wrong hotel room, because it was the one you were in last night? Yeah, I've done that where my card's not working. God damn it. I'm going to have to go back to reception. The card's not working, and and then you're like, oh, wait. Oh, that was last night. Well, 420 was last night's room. I'm in 1601 now, and whatever. Okay.
It's like, I this trip I had to write on my on some piece of paper. I was like 919. Okay, good. Remember that because it is like how are we retaining all these numbers?
I bring the little packet it comes in with me, or I tear off the number because I will forget because you're just constantly in a different, and they look the same. They're very, very similar. And there's a handful of types. There's the kind of faux boutique-y one, right? Mm-hmm. Like and I'm not saying anything negative about these chains. There's the Kimpton-ish one. Oh yeah. Right.
Those ones are great.
And then there's the, the Residence Inn type of one. And all the carpeting is the same as the other ones. And all the and then there's
there's the need your key in the elevator ones.
Yep. And there's the ones that are like the second generation of the boutique-y artsy hotels, but they're more faux and like it's one that's themed like a library, and this one's themed like a children's playground. And
I know exactly that they have those in like. Yeah, you walk in and you think like there's like it's all artsy
there's like there's 19 chessboards and whatever the fucking shit is, and each when you get out of the elevator, this floor is R&B themed, and this one is space themed.
That's the Curtis and
Curtis. I fucking hate those hotels. Yeah, and I have a little note, please, to the woman who books that stuff for the tour, like, please no Curtis hotels. That I just don't. They're too cute. They're and they even I remember the last time I stayed at one in Denver, and they like
that's the one.
They say something, but there are other Curtis hotels.
Yes, but that's the one I know the best. I mean,
that's the one where I was like, I'm not going here
can't do
again.
This anymore.
And they say something. There's like
in the elevator.
They say things that are like they have like greetings or whatever the fuck it is. It's just like stop. I just
remember like getting in the elevator. And it goes welcome. Over and over again.
Nick,
I have something unique. I have something unique at this hotel where you put your key on the thing. And the door you just push it open. There's no knob. I'd never had that before.
Oh, I haven't experienced that. Was that the Curtis?
No. This is here in New York.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it's you do that and it just clicks and you just push it because you know that like dance of like doing that and then trying to get the thing and sometimes you miss it. I mean, pros like us even miss it every now and again.
Every once in a while. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how long you've been on the road.
No,
it still happens. Yeah, the. You know what chain I do like that is cutesy is the Graduate chain.
That's the one that I did in Nebraska. I stayed at one there. Yeah. And that is you get in your room and you're like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's not over the top.
I think there's one in Nashville too that I stayed at that was like my room was like Dolly Parton themed room. But have you ever stayed at the Madonna Inn up in
I haven't, but I know of it. And there's a place in somewhere in the middle of nowhere, upstate New York, that is, and they say as much. They were inspired by the Madonna, and so it's their version.
I'd like to know about that.
I stayed in the Bewitched room, the Samantha from Bewitched room,
and she's in there.
She's in there, yeah.
The
actress Elizabeth Montgomery, is in there. It's pretty cool.
She must be really.
She's older now,
yeah.
But and the first thing out of your mouth is like, oh my God, I'm such a big fan. I really, when I was a kid,
It's
and then
embarrassing.
you insult her because like, when I was a kid, and she's like, how old are you? And I'm like 60. And I'm
she
still a
sees her
kid at
age
heart.
now.
Yeah. So it's weird.
You throw that in her face.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But outside of that, it was interesting. I didn't care for it, but yeah.
I've stayed at a few rooms up at the Madonna Inn. There's like the rock room where it's like the walls are, But in the end, I do like hotels. I like the process. I kind of enjoy aspects of that. Like I've gotten over kind of all the annoyances.
I really don't care for it. When I go to LA, if I'm in any place for, more than a day, 2 days, then I'll get an Airbnb, which is always a crapshoot.
Yeah, it really is.
But when I go to LA to do like this podcast, or if I'm working or something, I just get an Airbnb, like within a mile of the studio, and just walk and settle in. Because being in a hotel, the same hotel room for more than 3 days I just don't like it. It bums me out.
I mean, do you unpack?
It sucks your energy. No, I do not
unpack if I'm coming for a night. I get in the room. No. Immediately clothes on hangers in the closet. I love it.
Well, that way you're not pissing on them. Good luck reaching this shirt.
That's true. Yeah, for old time's sake.
Yeah. Do you ever bring your luggage with you and go, this is going to sound weird, but would you piss on this?
It's a thing. Yeah.
Trying to recall some memories.
I have a dark hotel memory that I know I was drunk, but I know what happened, and I can't really remember what city. But one night in the middle of the night, I woke up and there's a security guard standing at the edge of my bed.
Whoa.
And I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, sorry, your door wasn't closed all the way. We were just checking on you. And he like left. And I was just sitting there like, what?
Well, why did he just leave and close the door? Why was he sitting at the foot of your bed like the angel Moroni?
I know.
That's how Mormonism started.
Was it
Maybe
really?
you are a prophet. You're the next Joseph Smith.
Oh, and he was in there praising me.
Well, Moroni came. He had to come. It's great. If you read even just the cursory little bit of the history of Joseph Smith and Mormonism, and what they put out there, not even the real stuff, but what they put out there, it's just so bizarre and funny. It's like truly funny. Like Moroni came and he was an angel and he kind of visited. And Jacqueline Novak and I were talking about how they always hover at the foot of the bed. That's their place.
Oh,
just like
was she Mormon?
3 inches? No, but just 3 inches above the floor. Because it's cold. It's too cold for them, and they're sockless.
And they got to add something kind of supernatural about it, right?
Not just the fact that they're an apparition.
Yeah,
but with the larynx and vocal cords and all that kind of stuff.
The underwear,
and that's just more regular Mormonism. The underwear was a gift from God. It was supposed to be in a stocking, like stocking stuffer type thing, but it got misplaced and they thought it was like a real legit present. But
seriously?
Yeah. It was buried. The underwear was buried with the gold plates in Elmira, New York, under a tree. And then, but Moroni had to come like 3 times to Joseph. This is all in air quotes, of course.
Yeah.
But it took 3 times for him to
figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the underwear, I just saw some like BYU like Instagram video of like somebody walking around like, would you ever not for one whole day not wear your underwear? And to all the girls and they're like, no. Yeah. Like it was just like, are you kidding me? No, I actually like it.
Well, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I mean, in their world, it's sacred.
But how could you like it? How could it? I mean, yeah.
Well, because you're told to like it and you're brought up knowing, I mean, if you really like went on vacation with one of these girls, got to know her really well. You guys were hanging out at the end of the pier. It's midnight, maybe just beautiful starry sky and the full moon. So the moon is lighting the clouds in these various shades of gray and gets
reflecting off the water, probably.
Yeah. And the stars are twinkling. It's just a beautiful night. It's like 75 degrees, and there's night blooming jasmine,
Fahrenheit,
and eucalyptus is, all flowing. You can smell it, and it's just mixed with a little bit of the brine of the sea, and again, you're hanging off. The legs are hanging off the dock, and you're drinking a drink, and maybe they've
milk, probably.
No, I'm not Mormon, so
in this situation,
I've got a hazy IPA, some sort of and maybe they've got a tea, and then she kind of lets her guard down and says, "Yeah, I'm not that crazy about wearing the underwear."
That's when you get it.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that on a TikTok
You're not going to get that on a guy in the street. Hey, we're asking a bunch of
Yeah. Around campus even.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a nice little picture that I've got in my head now of you and that woman.
Yeah. She's awesome.
Yeah.
And, we're just friends. This is just
I love that she's opening up to you, though. And I think, that's probably how they start to
get
branch
away
out
from
Yeah.
What was I going to say? I like Salt Lake City, though.
Yeah, it's a great city.
It's a really cool.
When you get there and you just see the surrounding mountains, and it's
first of all, it's beautiful. It's very clean.
Mhm.
But outside of the kind of obvious dumb Mormon things, like the small beers and that kind of weird shit, it's a really nice city. I like it.
0.2 alcohol percent beer, and
but there are more and more places now that are just kind of regular for non-Mormons can go to and enjoy regular.
Have you been to Provo out there?
I haven't. No.
I mean, I lived out there for like a month once, and it was just. I loved it.
Are you sure you weren't just in an alcohol-induced kind of?
It
could have been a day.
Yeah, could have been a day.
Felt like a month.
The people are so nice. I mean, that's the thing is they have to be. You kind of can use that against them in a way. They're ministering to you.
Well, and I would like to kind of explore making Utah our 51st state.
Yeah, that'd be great to kind of take it out and put it on the top.
Yeah, give it to Canada. As incentive to be our 51st state. Boy, they...
Did you see that fight, that hockey fight?
No.
The U.S. versus Canada?
Oh, was it part of the Four Nations thing?
Yeah, it was just within 9 seconds of the game, there were 3 fights happening because they booed the national anthem.
Yeah, well, that's understandable.
Yeah.
No, I was just there. I'm going there tomorrow. I go to Winnipeg tomorrow.
I love it's going to be freezing there, right?
Fucking 16 degrees right now.
Yeah.
God damn it. I just can't. I had 4 days in Atlanta that was like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, I can do this.
And then, 16 degrees. I'm going, and it just gets, worse until I get to Vancouver. I mean, not worse, but colder.
You're doing stand up through the...
Yeah, I go Winnipeg, Edmonton, Calgary, or Calgary, Edmonton, I can't remember, and then Vancouver. And I come home for 2.5 days and then go to fucking Europe for a month. Not fucking Europe. I'm looking forward to it. I just haven't been home much. That's all.
Yeah.
I'll be in Oslo. It's my first show.
That's a great place to start.
Is it?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
It's nice because they speak English so well. And
I mean, all the places I'm going have, enough for me to sell tickets,
But they just love America. They're just so kind of...
Well, let's give that a minute. Let's give that a...
American art. Like they love television and movies. So they speak it so, they learn so young.
Right. Yeah. I mean, well, what I was going to say was the feeling in Canada of this kind of feeling of betrayal in a sense, and they still want, it's like being broken up with, where you want to be friends, but your head is telling you, wait, I can't be friends with you. And you're terrible, not you or me, or they understand there are people who don't condone this at all. But the idea of like your guy just shit all over Canada multiple like almost daily in like real specific ways. And
For no reason.
there's not a real reason for a lot of the stuff,
No.
outside of like, kind of petty vindictive shit or this, trying to enjoying being the, bully in the schoolyard kind of guy, give me your lunch money. But yeah, I mean, they're bummed, and there was wherever I was, something in Toronto or something, but there was a thing where they had done this poll with 1,200 Canadians, and 10% of the people who responded to the poll liked the idea of being folded into the United States and becoming part of the United States. And when I would mention that, because it was in the news and stuff, people would go fucking nuts, like booing and yelling, and understandably. And I was in Ottawa and Montreal and London, Ontario, and each place,
I bet especially in Montreal,
fuck that, it's, yeah, it's, I feel like apologizing to people,
It's weird going through customs because it's like you look at them and you're like,
yeah,
hey, I know what our guy did. So sorry. Can I come in?
Also, it's so telling about both countries and culturally that Canada has a reputation, deservedly so, for being polite and being nice and being, concerned with people and just being polite.
Yeah.
Like the way you would want people to respond in various situations. And Americans make fun of that, like get big laughs for making fun of, not just pointing it out, but making fun of them for being nice, pleasant people and polite. Like, that's crazy.
Funny. It's also kind of, it's like funny because it's, in a lot of ways, it's making fun of us for being just really not nice, not pleasant. We're like saying, this is it's better if you're just kind of standoffish and angry.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, I don't think people are owning themselves, knowingly. I think they're just, that is the result. Yes. It's like, you look like an asshole now. And all the people that are laughing at you for making fun of people for being nice. But that is kind of where we find ourselves socially and civically, and have been for 10 years now, where the whole thing of I'm drinking a cup of liberal tears, like I'm going to give you shit and my buddies are going to high five me for caring about that person.
Yeah.
I mean, that has, culturally taken over, and you get bonus points for making fun of people who care about other people, whatever that group of people may be.
Mm-hmm. It's great though, because going to like Winnipeg and London and those places, they get really excited that people come because,
well, they should. If you've been to Winnipeg and Edmonton, they should be thrilled. Yeah. Like there's some places I go, like if you go to, I don't know, Spokane, and you're like, you're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
It
was not easy. It wasn't.
And I'm in one of those shit hotels, and I had to take a commuter flight at 8 a.m., make a connection, and here I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I've only been to Winnipeg and Edmonton once, I believe, or maybe twice, but yeah, I remember the
I did a festival there in Winnipeg.
They have a comedy festival?
It's like a arts festival, and it's great because the city pays for it. It's like part of their.
It's very Canadian
budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, in college you pay these funds, and part of that goes to your student activities fund, and then they bring in, Jimmy J.J. Walker. Dynamite. What was I going to say about Winnipeg? Oh, you know who lives in Winnipeg? No, you don't. So I'll tell you. Guy Madden, one of my favorite filmmakers. who's made films about Winnipeg, in odes to Winnipeg. Just still there.
Is he going to go to your show, do you think?
I don't know. He went to my last one, and then we hung out at this bar afterwards. Super cool guy, very just not anybody, not like kind of a Lynchian looking guy, you know, where you'd be like, oh, he's clearly a filmmaker. Yeah, super cool guy, and I love his movies.
How do you do with meeting somebody that you admire? Like,
well, I fart. I think we've established that.
you know who was there was Ben Gibbard.
Oh yeah,
Ben Gibbard was on the ceiling when you on the roof of the place.
The ceiling. Wow,
he was laughing on the ceiling. He was up on the ceiling.
Yeah. You know what? Ben, one of Ben's bandmates, did the sound for the tour. What became Shut Up You Fucking Baby. So I think, and we were both on Sub Pop. So I think that's how I knew Ben and that whole group of folks. And was Swartzen there?
I don't know, maybe. I think Aziz was. I think it was like a year. You were wearing a dress at some point, I think at a bar.
Oh my God, I know exactly what that is. Yeah, that was... I swapped clothes with I think Mary Lynn Rice Cub.
I thought it was your girlfriend.
Oh, my girlfriend. Okay. So Sarah, girlfriend at the time. Yeah. So that would have been, that would have been like,
it was like some bar in Capitol Hill.
Yeah. And
you just came out of the bathroom in the dress.
I wore Sarah's dress.
And it was, I have a picture somewhere deep, deep, deep of you dancing in that dress somewhere.
Well, I remember, there's two things I remember from that night. And, you know, it was a big drinking, fun, crazy night. But there was at that bar, there was a guy who introduced himself. If you do this with Swartzen knows it's like a little inside joke, but he goes, we're talking and he goes, I'm going to have to explain what I'm doing for if you're listening, but he goes, oh yeah, man, sick, dude. Well, I'm a DJ. Whoop whoop, and he did the scratching a record movement and went whoop whoop, and it was one of the dumbest, weirdest thing. Yo, man. Oh yeah, man. Nice to meet you. Yeah, I'm a DJ. Whoop whoop. That became a running joke with Swartzen and I. But and then another crazy thing. So I'm sitting at a table, and this guy, complete stranger, comes up to me. He goes, "Hey, you ever seen a lion throwing up blood?" I'm like, "What?" I'm looking over my shoulder. Yeah. What? You ever see a lion throwing up blood? No. You will. And then he leaves. Then he comes back like 10 minutes later, and it's an artist named Kevin Willis. And we have a mutual friend. I think he's friends with Maynard, James Keenan, and Tool. And he brings me a T-shirt, which I still have. I can't fit into it anymore, but it's like a painting of a lion throwing up blood.
What a night!
Well, there's that story.
Yeah.
So you got. I wore a dress,
and you farted on the roof of
ceiling,
Pike Place. Yeah,
the ceiling. Yeah. It's somebody's ceiling. It's a roof.
Yeah.
But also the floor
it's the inside
is
out part of a ceiling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that movie was about, Inside Out. 2, not the first one.
I don't think I've seen the Inside Out movies.
I have not seen them either, but I heard they're good. And again, big Pixar fan, so I'll go see it.
I met an athlete recently, and I just totally froze. And I feel like meeting an athlete's kind of. I love baseball.
Oh yeah, that's different. Yes.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Clayton Kershaw.
Oh wow, what was that like?
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I got a picture with him. He saw me perform. Mm-hmm. It was pretty cool. I mean, I actually have season tickets to the Dodgers, so I'm pretty obsessed with baseball in general. But he came back, and like he was kind of in the news at the time because it was pretty recently. His contract hadn't been renewed. Well, yeah, he's
a lock for the for the Hall of Fame Cy Young winner.
Well, his contract hadn't been done yet, and so he gave us some inside info. He was like, "Yeah, I'm about to tie up the contract, and I'm coming back from surgery, so it should be a month or two, but I'll be good."
God, that's great.
Yeah.
I that is the thing that will make me like get nervous and stuff. A birthday present from last year was my sister, who's like the mayor of Atlanta. Like she knows it. Her and her wife know everybody, right? And everybody knows her. And she knows this guy who was is like best friends with Chipper Jones, who's one of my baseball heroes, and he was like his roommate in college, and they're still good friends. And he's like, "Oh yeah, tell your brother to come to this thing, and I'll get you set up." And da da da. And so my wife and my sister and my mom go to the new park for Braves game, and Chipper, and so I got to meet Chipper, but not just meet him. We hung out for over an hour, and he was telling me these great stories, and it's awesome. He's great,
Mm-hmm.
And he's telling me these stories about. I was like, "What about the home run off of Pedro?" And he's telling me these stories about how pitchers sometimes tip their pitches without being aware of it, and I asked him, like, who are the hardest guys you didn't want to meet, and just fucking in over an hour of
Did
just
you say Randy Johnson?
Yeah, that was one of them. Randy Johnson, Clemens.
Maddox, probably.
Well, he didn't have to face Maddox.
He was that.
Yeah, he was. He said Randy Johnson. I think it was Pedro, Randy Johnson, and Clemens were the ones that gave him the most difficult.
I just saw some video pop up in my feed recently that was like, "Here's Randy Johnson tipping his pitches." I'm like, from like the 90s tipping his pitches. But I saw Randy Johnson when the fires hit LA. He was right in the middle of the whole thing. He
started them, right? That's the
part
rumor.
of it. He did start the fires.
Yeah.
But I was down in Newport Beach for a day or two trying to get away from the smoke, and he just was riding a bike up, and I go, "Randy!"
Yeah.
And I just he looked at me as if he wasn't Randy, But I know Randy Johnson when I see Randy Johnson.
Sure, the big unit.
Oh,
I think one of the worst nicknames in sports ever for any sport. Any sport, the big unit is literally the worst.
When I was
nickname.
a kid from Seattle, though, it seemed cool. Like, yeah, but it's weird to have a guy named the Big Unit and then a guy named the Kid on the same team.
Right. Well, but the Kid was a kid. The Big Unit is like a euphemism for a dick.
Yeah.
So
that's inappropriate.
Yeah. Not he has a big unit, but he's a big unit.
I bet he used that, though. I bet he said, well, it's technically about
my penis.
Yeah.
And then I like the kind of like, just to be, truth be told. I have it's about my large penis. It's not
don't quote me on it, but yeah.
A bit of an eye roll, gee shucks kind of thing. There was a guy who's, what is he, like 7'1" or something like that?
So huge.
He's huge.
And just mean looking.
Yeah. Oh, he looks like the most redneck guy'd kick your ass.
Yeah.
For me, like growing up in Georgia, he looks like one of those dudes who hang out smoking Columbia Gold, and it would just be, the rumor would be like, hey, man, Randy went to jail. Yeah, don't mess with him, man. Because he went to jail, and he knows a bunch of people in jail. And if he makes one phone call, they'll fucking kick your ass, man.
They'll break out of jail and come find you.
They'll break out of jail and come find you. The worst thing in the world is he hates 14-year-olds. Riding your huffy bike.
I mean, the name Randy in its own, the guy was set up for success from the beginning. That video of him killing the bird.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so funny. It's crazy. Yeah. How does that not? People aren't killing birds anymore.
Oh, the bird had it coming. You know?
That might have been a bird suicide.
Oh, he went into.
Yeah.
I got to say, that's a good eye on that bird to be able to track that.
Well, that's why they call it eagle eye.
Right.
That was an eagle.
I don't know if it was an eagle.
Could have been a baby eagle. It's pretty small.
Baby eagle? Okay. But painted to look like a seagull.
Yeah.
Yeah. he was mostly. He didn't have his arsenal was fastball and then what he had
like
only,
a split finger.
Yeah, he only had like 2 pitches, right?
Yeah.
That's
I wonder
amazing.
if he had a changeup. I love watching pitchers now, like with the way the strike zones are and how they can really show you a pitcher throwing 2 different pitches that look like the same pitch from the beginning.
Oh, I love that.
And then it goes, like
the pitch comes out of the hand, and at the first third. It's the same. This
pitch that they just got that was up high, and then all of a sudden it just boom.
Yeah, some of the slurve, it's like a slider and a curve.
Mm-hmm.
Like these, I don't know how they're doing it. It's crazy, and I don't know how you fucking hit that. How do you hit that? And I'm not talking about like home run power thing. How do you like Arias? How does he make contact and not dribble a ball down or pop it up? But how do you, the hitting, to be able to spray hit and those kind of balls where you, like you said, it just came out this way and was a straight fastball. And
Except
then the
it's
next
30 miles an hour slower and it's going to cut
and it's
right.
going to cut, right, just drop down the last 5 feet.
It's so fun. I mean, that's why I love it. My seats at Dodger Stadium are right behind home plate, but they're like up kind of high, but you can really see the pitches.
I love seeing games at Dodger Stadium. I'd say, Fenway and Wrigley are like top tier, and then next level is Dodger Stadium, and there's a handful of great parks, but I love going to a game at Dodger Stadium.
Pretty sure I went to Wrigley Field with you and Bob.
Really? Oh, when we did
and George Lopez like threw the first pitch or something, and we got to go on the field.
Wait, I don't remember this. Wait.
When we were doing a place called the I was opening for you guys at
this is vaguely familiar. We were doing
I think honestly it might have been me and Mulaney opening for you guys. Like it was at a theater that doesn't exist anymore.
And we did like a Mr. Show thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that? That was there a sketch about like where they had LGBTQ and there were like way too many letters and they had to make the sign? And,
yeah,
I vaguely remember that. Was that with the big heads?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember that. Okay. So we went to Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
And
it was so
cool.
fun. It was like the perfect day. I mean,
it's such a great park.
What a memory. I was like such a young comedian, just like, what am I doing here?
Oh, that's
Wrigley
great.
Field with Bob and David. Yeah.
I sang the Take Me Out to the Ball Game. I have it on DVD they gave me, and I didn't watch it for a couple of years because it was so it ended up not being as bad as I thought it was going to be, but I started way high.
That's a happy birthday problem you'll have.
Yeah. And the guy who was interviewing me, I was so fucking nervous. I rarely get nervous. He looked at me and he's like, I start singing and I know this guy and his eyebrows raise and he's got that guy like, what? Are you really going to do that? And because he knew what was coming a second or two before I did when you hit that high part. And apparently it's happened before. But, and I remember seeing on Twitter, it was like, David Cross screeches out the Take Me Out of the Ball Game. And I never corrected it. And I just started and I tried to make it, but it was like, I was lost immediately. And I was so fucking nervous. And, I mean, obviously it turned out okay. It's just a guy singing, Take Me Out the Ball Game. But then when I went back to my seat, everybody in the stands were kind of like giving me, play nice shit, but giving me shit.
Wait, what field?
Wrigley.
That was at Wrigley.
Yeah. And but wait, what an honor! What a cool thing.
Is that your team?
No, Braves.
You walked in with a Guardians hat on.
Yeah, that's because I was doing a show in Cleveland, and they was to throw out the first pitch, and they gave me well, it got rained out, but they brought me out on the field anyway, and they gave me a tour and all that stuff. They gave me a shirt with my name on it.
I threw out the first pitch for the Mariners.
That must have been nice.
Full uniform.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ask for that, or is that a standard?
I did. Well, they said we can give you a jersey.
Yeah.
And I jokingly tweeted the day before, like, hey, sorry to announce that I'm actually not going to be throwing the first pitch because they're not giving me a full uniform. Joking, thinking that nobody from the Mariners would see that.
Right.
And then they just responded, all right, fine.
And so you had a full uniform. That's great.
With running shoes on.
Yeah.
And I had a shoe in my back pocket, and they brought out the backup catcher, and I threw a slider. I threw what I thought was a good swinging strike for.
Was it a good pitch?
Yeah.
Did you practice at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With Brody.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Brody and I went to the park.
Oh, of course, Brody played.
Yeah.
Single A.
I used to. Yeah, we. I mean, it was like playing catch with just him and I in a park. Yeah. He's talking to me about pitching, but yeah, and then I ran up to hug the catcher like as if it was we won or something. And I caught his chin on my shoulder, and you can watch the video, and it's like he does this thing, and he just got brought up from the minor. Like it was like they're like, hey, yeah, new guy, you got to go catch the first pitch in this idiot.
Yeah,
and now he's going to put you at like in physical problems. His neck was all screwed up. Who
was the backup catcher?
I don't remember.
That's rude.
I know.
You shared this moment.
I have it on video. It's on there's a 30 for 30 about it.
That would be great. The Nick Thune problem. Yeah, trust me, he remembers your name.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's no way he's playing anymore. Baseball is such a hard, being a catcher.
Well, how old was he? When was this?
This was 8 years ago.
He might be playing.
Maybe. But, I mean,
catcher can, they're guys in their 40s.
Their knees, though. It's like a...
Yeah, but they have that special pad thing now that they didn't have back then.
Did they put behind their knee?
Yeah, those like triangle pad things.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Well, how old is Perez? He's like 40 plus, right?
Yeah. Well, and what's his name just went forever. The
Molina.
Yeah.
Went 41. Yeah. So,
he was good. He was still throwing people out. That it's to see a catcher that can really catch a steal, like somebody stealing.
And he was one of those catchers that you can look at, watch him play, and realize how smart he is.
Yeah.
Like that guy is brilliant.
They're orchestrating so much, and
it like you could see it with Yadier Molina. Like you could just watch him control the game, manage, not manage it, but the field and all that stuff. Like he's one of the greats.
Will Smith is fun. He's a fun catcher to have.
I disagree.
You don't like him?
I love him, and maybe that's part of the problem is I have a love for him, physical.
Yeah.
And I can't get past that.
What if he was on the Braves? Would you be?
Fuck yeah, dude! Are you kidding? I like Marcell Ozuna, domestic violence guy.
That's how you have to. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Got a great DH.
I've had a couple of problems with that on the Dodgers. We had. What's the pitcher that we
Oh, Jesus, Trevor Bauer. What a douche.
Not even him, though. The other pitcher, Urias.
Oh, yeah.
Who at the Beverly Center lost it.
And, dude, was he at a Sephora?
Yeah.
Yeah. They took his mural off like the next day.
Yeah.
Like he had that big fucking mural with his sunglasses and all that.
It's crazy that like a guy Trevor Bauer is still a great pitcher, and you see. I don't know if you ever watch his YouTube. It's like, and he basically got.
He's in Japan now, right?
Yeah.
Or
when he got exonerated in some way, where like even the person that said something, but people don't like him that much. Women, I didn't know there was a couple. I just know that one of them turned out to be whatever. But he was disliked that much by Major League Baseball that none of the teams are like, we're still not gonna bring this guy on.
Well, he's very, button pushing.
Oh yeah, with the sword and the, just the dumbest stuff.
Yeah, but he's like trying to push your buttons, and maybe that's part of one aspect of a pitcher's mentality, But
you ever go to the World Series?
Yep, I have been lucky enough. I've seen a lot of losses. because I'm Braves, Red Sox, but I
Mhm.
also got to see the Braves win in '95 at the last game at the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. I took my sister, and that was really exciting. And then for a really cool surprise present, my wife took me to the Red Sox game where they won the World Series for the first time in Fenway.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
That
I
makes
remember
up for
Shane
every.
Victorino hitting a triple and going to take a piss, and everyone in there was kind of like, usually people don't get too optimistic too early. But having that feeling as I'm taking a piss next to this guy, in the old school troughs,
Mhm.
and we were all like, it's going to happen, man. It's going to happen. Like when he hit that triple, it was like, I think they got this.
What a feeling too to be.
And that whole night was fun. I mean,
I was at Game 7 when the Astros beat the Dodgers the year they cheated.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was so brutal. But I was going to go to Game 6 with the Dodgers, that the Yankees didn't, mess up. But
oh man, that fifth inning was. I was sitting at a bar in like one of my neighborhood bars with Yankees fans, and I love to give Yankees fans shit, and it's a friendly bar, it's all cool, but that fifth inning was like, what the fuck is happening? This is like little league shit.
it is. It's insane because Judge, but when you see when he's about to catch it, he sees Kike Hernandez pushing like he's running. So he thinks, oh, I can pick him off if I catch this. And it's the quickest moment. And everyone's like, oh, he made a mistake. It's like, well, the guy did great base running, which caused that mistake.
Yes.
But
also Garrett Cole, like hanging out.
Oh, not going to first?
Not going to first?
I'd already said
what
all right.
What the fuck are you doing?
It was unreal.
That fifth inning was one of the greatest fifth innings I've ever watched.
My water heater was getting fixed during the fifth inning. They showed up as the inning was starting, like knocking on the door. I'm like, God damn it. Hi. They're like, where's the water? I'm like, it's in the back. They come back. We can't find it. I'm like, all right. And I go back. It's the fifth inning is happening. It was so great.
Well, that's the problem with living on the West Coast. East Coast, everyone's in bed.
Yeah.
You get to go.
No, but nobody's fixing water heaters.
Nobody's fixing water heaters.
No.
And shame on them. That was the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm. Needed that water heater fix, though. That was kind of nice.
What part of LA do you live in?
Silver Lake.
Oh, nice. I lived there. I was in LA for 9 years, and all my time was either Los Feliz or Silver Lake.
Yeah, I've been in Echo Park and Silver Lake, and I did a little Glendale stint. Nice in Glendale. Yeah. Yeah, it's not LA. That's
how they get you.
It's how they get you, yeah.
Nick Thune, do you have anything you'd like to promote while you're on the show?
Yeah. I have a special on YouTube, which is the Netflix of
DIY.
The internet. Yeah.
Right.
And it's free, which is the best part about
Tubi.
it. Yeah. You can do that too. Yeah. It's called Born Young.
Born Young.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Thune.
Born Young.
And it's Nick with a CK.
Yep.
Right. Not NIQUE.
And Thune with a
Yep. And Thune with a
P.
With a P.
Yeah.
PTHUN.
P.T. Anderson. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Born Young, Nick Thune on YouTube. Now, Nick, I end every podcast with a question from my daughter. Okay. So this is a question from Marlo. And we were cooking something, and she noticed the flames on the stove, and she wants to know, what is the difference between a red flame and a blue flame? You can answer it any way you see fit.
And what's her name?
Marlo.
Marlo. Well, Marlo, I would say the difference between a red and a blue flame is, if you've seen The Matrix.
Yep.
Has she seen The Matrix?
No.
No. We'll show her The Matrix.
Okay.
And
the whole trilogy, or?
I think you just need to see the first one, actually. Right. Yeah. And if you're blue flamed, then you just kind of like live in this oblivious world of heaven. And if you're red flamed, you're aware and you're sad.
Mm.
So
it's a kind of a moral question. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Is it a moral question or just like, what kind of, do you want to know the truth?
Yeah. Do you want to know, or would you rather be happy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I bet she seems like somebody that wants to maybe know.
Yeah, but I would not. I'm going to keep her happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So take her out of public school and send her to a private Christian elementary school. Okay. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, Nick Thune.
Thank you.
Thanks for dropping in.
Thank you. Wow, look at these cameras, by the way. I didn't even notice.
Yeah. This is a live stream to the Philippines. That is, it looks like it's shooting you, but it's actually a TV on the other side, and it's showing a live feed of Bourbon Street in New Orleans. And this one goes to a monkey house at the Bronx Zoo.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's eagles you can watch.
I know. Yeah. The Hell Freezes Over tour. Yeah.
That was a Headgum podcast.